It wasn't just for a very short case and they couldn't do it, but they said they have all this fruit, and I thought that was cool.
Okay, so I'm recording now.
Okay.
Lee, do I have permission to record you today and interview you
Yes, you do.
for the Healing Words Project?
Yes, you do. My name is Lee Asheroff. I was born February 21, 1928 in New York City. My information is sketchy, but my grandmother told me that they lived in Russia. He worked on a farm, and then he was drafted into the army. And when a Jew was drafted into the army at that time, it was like a death sentence because they put the Jews on the front lines. So my grandmother put him in a wagon, piled straw on top of him with a few of their possessions, and drove him out of the country. I wish I knew the details of that trip, but I don't. We had breakfast, we had lunch, we had dinner, we went to school, and we played with our friends. So to me, it was just growing up. It was nothing special. I had to put on stockings. I was a bit of a tomboy. And by the time I got to the synagogue, my stockings were usually torn because I was climbing trees on the way.
And growing up, did you learn about the Holocaust?
Yes, I did, and that changed my life because I lost all my religion. I felt if there was a God, how could he have had allowed children to die like that? That my great-grandparents were killed in the Holocaust. Well, they disappeared. They disappeared. I tried for so many years to have a baby that when I was finally successful, it was just a delight. Everything was a delight. And seeing my children grow up and evolve and into what they are now was wonderful. Of course, the hardest challenge was when my husband died suddenly. No money, but a job. How did I get through it? What I believe, put one foot in front of the other and go forward. I just did everything I could.
So, I talked with Leslie quite a bit before we were gonna meet today. And she mentioned that you were quite an activist in your time.
We were fighting for Roe versus Wade. We marched, we phoned, we had meetings, but they were always small issues. Raising money for somebody who needed it, raising money to bring somebody into the United States. We always had people who would come from Europe. My parents would help them come, and they would stay with us. And I remember we would put two chairs together, facing each other, and put pillows on them. They would sleep on the chairs, but we always had room in our house for people, and I always knew from my mother that you had to help people. I think there's always been a refugee crisis. Israel became a country in 1948. I thought it was great, but my mother was not a Zionist and was an anti-Zionist because she kept saying, if we all become Zionists, they're going to send us to Israel. That's what the basis of all this is, that people cannot learn to compromise and live together. In any land, it would be beautiful if people could only live together and understand each other, or try to understand each other. But that's not happening. Certainly not happening right now. But I believe very strongly that we need peace and understanding between people. I have never, ever been depressed in my life, no matter how bad it got. I've always been positive. But I just had faith in myself. I knew I was going to get through this. I did. That's when I found out I was strong. I never thought I was strong, but I was.